If you're starting a business with no experience in 2024, this could be the video for you. Here are some 9 things I've learned on my own about business in the past 2 years. I have been an educator since 2009, so it's definitely a perk to be able to guide myself through learning something new. And I can kind of scaffold it. If I don't understand something, then I can kind of simplify it, find something easier, and then build my way back up, and until I get a better understanding for what I'm trying to do. So we're Omni-versal. We're based out of El Paso, Texas. Our goal is to do universal awareness. Our goal is to help people, businesses break out of autopilot and pay attention. A lot of our struggles give you signs. It's time to start paying attention to those signs. Okay, our first one is, number 1 is you need an online presence a lot. And so this is why I'm here right now, okay, trying to build an online presence. Social media, videos, photos, and one of the ones for at least a formula is about 2 posts per day per platform. And that gives you 2 posts per day per platform, gives you 60 at the end of the month, where you can take some data and see how well you're performing. And through your online presence, teach or give a perspective. A lot of times, so teach something you really know, especially in the area that your business is going to be in. Sometimes I didn't know what to post, and so I started being asked questions as to my processes for video editing and how long it takes, and how to cut from one shot to the next, or not have a lot of the same shots, and that kind of thing. If you're a coffee shop and you're going to make coffees a certain way, why do you brew it a certain way for one drink and brew it a different way for another? If you're baking, why use one flour over the other? Why use one type of sweetener or whatever the thing is? Then try to bring people into that part. Next thing with the online presence is a website. Now, I used Squarespace, and I like it so far. It seems, I haven't used anything else, honestly, so it's not something I can compare, but it's pretty user-friendly. There are a few things every once in a while that could be, well, I know what I'm trying to get. I feel pretty tech savvy, maybe moderate. I know some things that I want to do, and I know are possible through other websites, so I'll look as to how to do it. And there are some little technical things that can be done, like copy and paste code from here and add it there. This might be a little bit of an advanced part for some beginners, but overall it's fairly simple. It's a lot of drag and drop. If you need a picture, drag the section that says picture and put the picture on the website, add the picture. It's pretty simple. Another one is to build an email list. I was slightly opposed to building an email list at first, and I guess I started understanding more of the perks as to why we should build an email list. The main thing is that in case something happens with social media, you could lose all your followers in one section, but that will help keep your email list is yours. Whether the platform does well or not, then you keep your subscribers, your customers, the people interested. Also, from what I've learned with business in the past 2 years, is that a lot of it is very relationship based. So it's like dating. So first, you're just doing little things to get the person interested in whatever you're doing or whatever you're selling, and then they kind of take it to the next step. And so email is kind of one of those next steps that is past social media. So once they come to your email list, it's more them taking a deeper interest than whatever would just be on social media. And one of the next ones at least for me, was just to start online. We don't have a physical store, and I still don't plan to have a physical store. Here in El Paso, there's a lot of businesses that kind of have problems with the building that they're leasing or whatever. There could be like plumbing issues or like parking issues, and that's just stuff I'm not prepared to deal with yet, at least not with the level of experience that I have yet. So if you could, I would say start online and then work your way up from there. Establish your group first and then level up from there. So number 2 is still piggybacking on that last one, is no physical store. At least still for now, I don't want a physical store because it's much cheaper to start online. Website can run you about $200 for the year. There's no lease on a building, so you're not as required. I think $200 is an easier thing to get back from your sales than to be paying a monthly fee. Also, no employees. It's very low maintenance, low input, and so I won't have to hire somebody to do this or that. Depends how much you want to get into it, but at least to start, I find that more along the lines of something I would like. Number 3 is try to find ways to make passive income. So another thing I learned recently is that if you're trying to make money with your time is finite. So there's only a certain amount of hours per day, hours that you're available. Even if there's 24 hours, there's no way you're going to work for 24 hours unless you have employees. But even then, it's hard to find something that would go around the clock. So by passive income is something that will make you money even in your sleep. So again, with online sales, you can easily put out ads, digital ads, and get online sales, and that gets you money even in your sleep. Now, that being said, that's also the type of things you're selling online. So if it's a product that you're making, that's still kind of time-based. So maybe something that's a course. If you're, like I mentioned, if there's something you do in baking or carpentry, then make a quick video or course on some of the most common problems. And once you make that video, they're paying for it once, and you only did it once, and it can be resold. So something along with those is books or some sort of something you can download. It's something that you don't have to keep repeatedly doing, and it can keep making you money. Or another one is to rent your space. So if your business is only open during certain hours, then you can rent it out when you're not there. So if sometimes from my understanding, is food trucks sometimes need like a host kitchen or something like that. Maybe you can rent your space that way, and you're not really there. The money's also a little more linear or based on time, but it's still something that you're making more money, and it's not really a lot of input on your part. You don't have to make something or be there. It's just something that kind of happens. There's other businesses that sometimes have a parking spot that is, if your business is closed at night and there's something nearby that usually gets a lot of cars, then you can maybe rent out your space to charge for parking. Things like that can make you more money that isn't necessarily business related, but can add more money. The next one is collaborations. So one thing that really helped us over the last year is collaborating with other businesses. And so over the last year, I've just been trying to create an online presence. Okay. Until recently, I've noticed that, I realized that it still wasn't enough. We grew. I was happy with the growth we had, but I also realized that I have to do a lot more to reach what I would like to reach. So one of the ways that we did grow was through collaborations. I went to several businesses in El Paso. We have there's a lot of stuff that happens, or there's a lot of businesses we have that people don't know about. So, and we always hear that it's like, oh, I didn't know we had this in El Paso, or I didn't know we had this in El Paso. So I kind of took that phrase and started trying to find these little hole in the wall places and feature them. And a lot of times the business owners were, of course, very grateful that I would go do a video and record their stuff and post it, and we collaborate on a reel on Instagram, and we're both getting the views. So that was very beneficial to both of us. Now, a lot of times with collaborations, people don't like to do them because they feel like you're competing. And honestly, if it's the same goal, then kind of what does it matter? And also, one business isn't for everybody. So I think it's good also to show them the options. Sometimes your business will do something better than the other, and sometimes vice versa. The other one will do it better than yours. And I think sometimes it's good to have that connection with another business, and you can send them to each other. I remember once I needed tires for my car, and the place I usually go to for my oil change said they started doing tires. And I asked him, how much are you guys selling the tires for? Or how much for the set of 4 or whatever. And he kind of gave me the price, and he told me, he's like, honestly, for this one, he's like, I wouldn't recommend going through us. He's like, it's a little more expensive because we're new to it. It's like, just go to either this place or this place. And I thought that was awesome. Like, he knew his strengths and weaknesses and still sent me somewhere else. And yet it still made me want to come back to that spot because of that honesty, I guess. Next one is adding value to your product that isn't money. So a lot of times when you sell something, and if you get that's too expensive, or people just kind of skeptical or a little more unsure mostly because of price. So ways to make your product more valuable without changing the price is to find other ways that it's valuable. So for example, if it's time saving, if like you're selling something like sometimes for books, for quick recipes, you don't have to think of the recipe, or you don't have to think of what you're going to make. It's already there. It's time saving, or it's quick recipes, like two ingredient, 3 ingredient, 1 hour recipes. That there's the time saving thing. Or sometimes it could be money saving in the long run. So maybe again with a cookbook, cook at home so that you don't have to spend eating out, or do it with these ingredients because these ingredients are cheaper. That all adds value to whatever you're selling and kind of justifies the higher price. Another one is convenience. So sometimes convenience fees, buying stuff online there, convenience fees there all the time because it's easier for you to buy it online than have to go drive somewhere and do it. So if there's something that you sell that's a little more convenient than others, then that should justify the price. Specializing is also a big one. I mentioned bakers. So if you are more like a cake baker or bread baker, that's your specialty. So you have more experience in it. So of course you would charge a little more because you're better at it than the next person. If they're kind of, and sometimes it is all around, like you're a baker and you bake a lot of stuff, but if you only do that one thing, that does make you the specialized, and I think that justifies the higher price mark. Next one is customer service. So a lot of businesses rely on repeat customers. Think about the places you go to. We usually stick to the same place. If, like I mentioned, the oil change place, it's time saving to not have to look up another place. Okay. It's convenient. I don't, again, also not have to think of another place or maybe go out of the way, or something that I already found is on my way from work to home or something. So it's a lot of repeat businesses, even a lot of places that you just think about any places you frequent, even if it's food or whatever it is. Okay. And the way to is with customer service is to reward reviews. If somebody gives you a review, recently I've learned also that reviews have a huge impact on your business, and it helps the algorithm and Google and stuff find your business faster if you have a higher rated reviews. So send the customers that have given you a review, give them a perk, because that's in the end kind of an investment. They're going to bring you in more people. Like with us, whenever we've gotten orders on our website, there's been times when I just upgrade a random one to quicker shipping because either we messed up or sometimes it's just a nice surprise to get your item faster than you were anticipating. One I like to think about is to tip your customers. So the customers tip your employees, but now it's time for you to kind of return that favor. Especially a lot of times that word of mouth will get you more people. So if someone is already a usual at your place, they're sometimes going to bring somebody else the next time, especially if it's like a little restaurant, a coffee shop or something. They're probably going to bring somebody else, or they're probably going to tell somebody about it, or whatever it is. So that's a lot of repeat customers. This person is probably getting you more people. So tip your customers. Now this next one doesn't quite apply to me, but I've seen it through other businesses, and is be a good boss. Treat your workers well. I've seen right in front of us where I know it's the owner or manager or something, and just kind of not necessarily treating the employee bad, but it's kind of not treating them very respectfully. It's kind of making like a slightly rude comment or passive aggressive comment, and then kind of what is that? How does that make your worker feel? So our whole thing is awareness, universal awareness. The clues are there. So if your employees start dropping off, quitting, then the clue was there that somebody who wasn't treating their employees right. So why would they stick around? Another good way to be a good boss: give them time off, appropriately, or at least like find a pretty good way that once they ask for time off, or at least a good plan that once they get their time off, you're not going to have to take it back. Appropriate breaks. Make sure they're not being overworked. Nobody likes being overworked. So why would they? And I understand it may be your business, our business, whatever. But they're not invested in that same way as we are. This isn't their business, so it's not going to be the same. Now, if you do want them to feel like it is their business, then incentivize them with more pay. You get more sales, then you get more money, and that should be on top of their base pay, not like waiters or waitresses where it's a minimal amount and you have to make up the rest in tips and you have to do it. No, I think that I don't agree with that. So if you incentivize them, that's going to make them want to make more money, and in the end it makes the business more money. And if the customer service is good, that's also, again, word of mouth, and so it kind of keeps snowballing from there. Pay attention to all the little things that you do that could have an outcome in the end. Next one is create your own demand. Exclude people. So this one sounds a little weird, but it's more that if your product starts becoming really good, obviously you would want to take everyone in. You're thinking, oh my God, I have this many incoming orders or a lot of customers, and that's great. But especially as a small one, eventually if you can't keep up, then that's also going to make your product suffer. So instead of taking on everybody, think of what you can actually manage and then only put that amount out and it's going to exclude some people. So it kind of makes that part a little more valuable. So if you're creating, I don't know, I keep thinking of the carpentry, but let's say you keep getting hired to make a little table or a coffee table or chairs or whatever it is. It's something artistic, and you make one that people really love and you're getting more orders in. You get orders for 20 more, but realistically you can only take 10. Then only take the 10 and maybe take those 10, and then for the next one you're going to increase your price or do a pre-order to kind of tell how many, to get an estimate as to how many you think you might get. And that kind of makes it a little more manageable as to what you can do. But that exclusion of people will definitely make it stick in their mind a little longer, and I think they'll come back. That happened to us after a certain point. We were doing videos, and we got several requests to make videos, and I honestly didn't think, like, no, that's too many to keep up. So I kind of had to put like a wait list, and or if you did want it quicker, then I would add like I don't know if it's some sort of fee, but I would raise the price if you wanted it quicker, and that would kind of make a few people drop out. But I still think it was a little more manageable for me, and I didn't give them something that was kind of going to be mediocre or something that I didn't feel comfortable giving them, if that makes sense. It didn't reduce the quality that I wanted for them. All right. And the last one, before I say the last one, if you'd like to sign up for our email list, it's at www.omni-versal.com. And we're mostly based out of El Paso, but if you found this useful, I'd love if you could hit a like or subscribe to our channel. We do a bunch of other stuff too. I like to show that we're a little family business. So I guess I said I'm a teacher. My wife works from home. We have a 5-year-old, at least as of right now. And we'll show a little bit of all the stuff we do. We do cooking. We like to cook at home. There's a lot of like health stuff that we'll eventually get to in other videos. But it's more just an overall life thing, as to pay attention to all the clues life is giving you, because they're there and we just have to listen to them to try to get a little bit of a more peaceful life for us. So the last one is a lot of times people, including myself, I thought like, well, we're not selling anything, like there's something wrong with the algorithm, or there's something wrong with our website, or I'm not, whatever the case was. And this one's partially true, but it's a harder pill to swallow, and it's probably selling something people want. And at one point I had to really reflect and like, maybe this isn't selling because nobody wants it. So that kind of had I had that light bulb moment. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Why would, even if when I get ads for something I don't want, it's easily skippable. So I have to try to tweak things to play around with it to see what they want. And this is another one that on my self-learning thing is one that they mentioned a lot, is to test whatever you're doing. If you're putting stuff online, test it, have a slight variable. Maybe one, it's pretty much the same video, but one has one sound and one has the other, like music, or one song and the other one has a different song. Maybe one is with a filter, one's without a filter. Whatever the case is, have a variable and start testing it out and see which one is doing better. And over time, you'll see a pattern. So that's the one I'm working on this year in 2024. I'm going to try to collect more data to see which does well. That way I'm not working for nothing. Hopefully working a little more efficiently. And like I've mentioned, the clues are there. I just have to pay attention to the clues. So there's, I guess, the other, that old saying that if you build it, they will come, and I don't think that applies anymore. So whatever we do, we have to put it in front of the right people. And the cool thing about online marketing is that it's very specialized. So when you buy a billboard and announce something, you're announcing it to everybody, whether they might be interested or not. And sometimes that can work, but sometimes you know that whatever you're selling is very special or specialty. So why would you put it in front of everybody? You're kind of spending money on people that definitely are not interested. So again, try to find your group as to who you're selling to, and pay attention to what the results are, and that will make it a little bit easier for you to see what you sell. And that's about it. If I come up with more, and I hope I do, then I'll share them along. As if anybody's thinking about doing a business, I'm curious as to how this will work out for you. Subscribe. We can keep in touch. Maybe we can collaborate, especially if you're in the El Paso area. Hit the follow button and likes, and we'll see you later. Bye.